Hi guys, in this video I'll be showing how to make my Halloween candy corn witch card. In part 1, I showed how I created the design for the card. The SVG is available on my Etsy right now, so you can purchase it and follow along with me on screen. If purchasing the file brought you here, welcome and thank you. The materials you're going to need are 5 sheets of 65-pound cardstock, 1 sheet of plain paper, 1 sheet of vellum. If you don't have vellum, you can use plain paper for that as well. If you want your card to light up, to make the circuits, you'll need to get LEDs. You can use the diode kind with the prongs, probably put a picture on screen, or you can get chibi lights from Chibitronics. That's what I use in the video. Then to finish the circuit, you'll need copper tape, a coin cell battery, and some scotch tape. Finally, to put the card together, you'll want your choice of adhesive. I like to use adhesive rollers. And when the card's all finished, it will fit in a 9x12 envelope. All right, let's get started.
Okay, upload the image you downloaded from the Etsy package. That is candycornwitch.svg. We'll save that and insert it onto the canvas. I'll just reposition it to 1:1 so we see what we're working with. I'm also zoomed out to 75% so we can see everything. Then go ahead and ungroup. The main SVGs always come in as one group. The first subgroup that you see is colored gray. That means it should be cut out of vellum. And you don't need to do any additional moves to that group. It doesn't need to be attached or anything. But most of the next groups will be. So this next group is made out of one layer that is white and should be left as set to cut. That's your cardstock. And then the layer on top that's red should be set to score. And that's kind of the code I've set up across this file. So then attach that group, tuck it away. The next groups have a writing layer as well. That'll show up in green, or draw, you should say. Green for draw, red becomes score, white, don't need to do anything, and then attach those layers. So continue doing that. And then go ahead and attach both of these items, just so they get made from the same sheet. And very last we have this blue section. The blue means that it's going to be made on copy paper. But it also has a score and a drawing item. And the file's all set up. So we'll save that. Candy corn witch. Then once you had to make it, let's see, your first one is set for vellum, and then here on out is each part for the card. You can't choose 8.5 by 11 for a lot of these. They will fit on an 8.5 by 11 sheet. They're just they're over the margin Cricut believes you should have. But you can make these with letter size. They're designed to be made with letter size sheets. Here's the back and side. Another layer, or no, the front and sides. The sheet with the circuit. Another layer. And the copy paper. Alright, I'll see you on the mat with all the pieces cut out and ready for assembly.
Alright, so I'm going to start with my circuits. What I've drawn out is set up for candy corn, yellow, orange, white. But my friend had me do a different colorway that was green, purple, and blue, and I actually really liked it, so I'm probably going to do that today. Normally I label these on the Cricut. I guess I didn't this time. I might have to make that update to the file before I go to Etsy, but this is the positive side and this is the negative side. So you'll open your copper tape. The edge started. I try to touch the tape as little as possible with my own hands just because of oil. Like, I start with clean hands, but you never know. I'm sure you're used to this if you do any like Cricut vinyl projects. Smooth the tape down, and then when you want to change direction, go opposite the direction, like 180 degrees, push down, and then come back, and it gives you a nice little crimp. Helps with the angle change. I'm kind of a little bit inside the lines, but I think it'll still work. Forgot my scissors. Just chop that up there. Then I can do the positive side. Start with like a 1/2 inch to put through the switch. I don't know what we call this. This track for the switch. That would be the right word, probably. And then come around and follow the rest of the lines. And then you want one of these coin batteries, CR2025. I've tried a few different brands. You can get them really cheap off Amazon. Some that I got off Amazon really cheap, I feel like haven't worked as well. They're fine batteries. They're probably fine in electronics, but they've really needed to be pushed. Had some pressure on them to work well, and the card can't really do that the way this is designed. So I feel like I've noticed with other brands not having that issue as much, but I don't know. I'm still learning the circuitry stuff. Enough to go on the battery. And press that on there. And then I'm gonna wait. I tape it down, but I'm gonna put my lights on and test the circuit first. These are the little sticker LEDs. So I need a blue for the top. I'll try to find one that just has blue on it. I am running low on these guys. Time to reorder. Then, as you see on there, the points are for the negative side, the fat bottom is for the positive side. And they kind of look like candy corn in their own right. So these stickers come in 30 sticker packs of white. You can buy a set that is your red, blue, yellow, and then they have a tropical set that is green, orange, and purple. Success. So then I'm just going to take one-sided Scotch tape. Yeah, I might update my designs in the future so that you could replace the battery, but I'm still working that out. Okay, now we need to make the switch. So you'll need your two little squares with the score lines down them. Fold them away from the score lines. So see, you fold each of these and then put them in here so the valley is in the slot. One up and one down. And then bring them to where the circuit would be closed or on. And then this is where I break out my fatter tape. Kind of butt them together because I make the slot roomier. And then run the tape. You don't have to go all the way to the top edge because we're going to overlap. But run the tape down. Try to keep it square to the front edge of the switch. Easier said than done. And that way we've taped them together. You can kind of follow it down as much as you can while it's still in the card, but then you'll need to pinch these and remove it. Then keep following. And working your way around. And then I just overlap at the end almost all the way down the piece. Hopefully you could see that. My finger's kind of in the way, and as I put the scissors in the way completely. But I'll show it to you up close now that it's done. So that's our little switch shape. Just kind of work it a little bit, usually. Okay, I think we've got it going on. All right. Now we're going to finish the switch by adding the pull tab, the part your fingers interact with. So again, fold away from the score. I like to use these adhesive rollers. And we will just cover the switch in the front. Line up the pull tab on the square. Stick it on. And then I need a scrap. I just use the back of the sticker. So I'd like to also put adhesive on the pull tab part. So put this solid adhesive on the switch. And then I have this permanent dot adhesive for odd shapes. Put down there. And some adhesive might be in the triangle. Sometimes I take a weeding tool and just kind of clear the adhesive out of there. Just because I don't want it to pick up any schmutz. Fold it over and press it down. And then one thing I also sometimes like to do is to just give a slight bend to the switch. This will just help contact between the circuit. Just sometimes, because these aren't a flat card, like I think these were mainly designed for, sometimes when your card's standing up, this is wiggling in and out of plane. This will just help it. Well, even now you see. But once it's in the box structure, I think it'll be fine. In the design video, I explained these little vellum pieces that I designed extra to go behind the card. The next part is going to be attaching those. They all go, oh no, one does go on the witch card. We'll start with the skull, yeah. So part CD with the witch and the spider web, we're going to put the vellum skull behind. Layer C is further forward than layer D, and the way it's folded is when you're facing the top, these two are valley folds. Which means, okay, if you hold down the cut side and feel along the spine, you can kind of coach that crease into the fold, or a score into a fold and then a crease. And then same on this side. Then you will see when they are layered properly that the skull needs to go on the side with the writing. The vellum skull. So we're going to pop that on this side. Hopefully my hair is not in the shot. My bun. Okay. There we go. CD card almost done. So, images on the left side with odd number alphabet letters will get the vellum on top. Images on the right side will get the vellum underneath. So flip that over. Start with middle cat. Just trying to pull adhesive back from any of the cutouts. Just stabbing cats in the eyes. I'm just going to go ahead and wipe the adhesive off of my masking card, masking scrap. It's a great way to use scraps mask things off. I do it a lot when I am sharpening vellum or using this dot adhesive. All right. So again, we're gonna fold the center. I did it again. Center lines, valley style. My sleeves out of the way. I feel like I always have my sleeves pushed up when I wear long sleeves. It's kind of funny. And yet I'm always cold. Could just be because I have short little arms and fly off the rack, because who doesn't? And then the tabs you're gonna flip over so that they end up mounting from the front, but it's just easier to fold this valley. These are a little tough. Be patient with them. Hopefully I'm on screen here. You know, you don't have much to flip up, but they are scored. They will eventually come. Could be using my bone folder, but you don't need it. Can be helpful. Just coach it over. And then the copy paper piece for the back, same thing. Letters up. Gonna make the middle into valley folds. A little bit easier to work with here since not much of it is cut away. Flip over. This one, I said it was easier. The tabs are kind of trickier because it's a lot easier to force such a light stock of paper to crease, or you don't necessarily want it to. Even with a score line in there, it's kind of weird. So just be careful. I've definitely folded it over wrong. Maybe the curving method. Nope, that's worse. See, it starts to kind of go off and do its own thing. Really, the score line should be the path of least resistance, but I guess it's just not on this weight of paper necessarily. I mean, maybe it's the brand, like maybe this copy paper is not as homogeneous, but it makes sense that as you get to thinner paper, scoring isn't going to dictate as much. And then the scoring wheel is an adaptive tool, and it knows that I put in copy paper, so it's also not scoring it as heavy as a scoring cardstock, which should be commensurate with its thickness, but I don't know. Maybe I should say heavy when I do copy paper, but or double the score lines maybe, because I really like how it's cutting these. Just a tip on this, I should say it earlier in the video when I do the setup, but I bought some different blades, and I believe I'm using a 60-degree blade to cut this, and it is working beautifully. I cannot cut it on a 45 or a 30. You're supposed to even be able to use a 30-degree blade on such a thin stock because you don't need the height that 60 degrees gives you. Visual aid here on the mat. But it just, if you're ever getting snags in your work and you bought the blades with some different machined angles, if you're getting snags, go up an angle. And I actually changed that blade out. I'm only using it for vellum and copy paper. Because my set didn't come with that many, and I find that the 45 works fine on cardstock. So 45 is my workhorse. It's probably true for everyone. Okay, so we have our circuit and our inner pages ready. We'll set those aside and grab our cover sheet and back sheet. Now, once you've done a lot of these cards, you might choose, I don't put a marker in except for the circuit now, because you can see through. I used metallic silver instead of black, so it wouldn't be that obvious. But from the side, when the card is lit up, you will see these lines. I think they're really helpful to have as a beginner, but they don't look very good on the final project sometimes. For the most part, they're hidden on this card, but I've had other cards with lower inside layers, and then you have to really watch out on where these lines are. So these scores we're gonna fold incorrectly against. So both folds on this will be valley folds. But let's just do the tab. I keep doing in the way I showed you. It doesn't work very well. That way works really well. The like coaxing it works when it's like a really long thing, but these small ones, I don't know. Let's just do the tabs for now. You see the crinkling in there? That's because it's scored on the wrong side. I did that to make these lines. If you get to where you don't need these lines, you can mirror and have your outside be the top. And then you can also put designs on the outside. I haven't done that yet, but it's something I've thought about. And you could put, this ends up being the back, so you could put it to from. I've done that before with labels. But yeah, that would be really cute when you feel comfortable not using the guides. You'll see how the guide usage is coming up. This one I actually did cut so it's the front. This is the front and the left side of the box. So flip it over and then we'll do valley folds. But again, just do the tab for now. Get these tabs folded over. So these are going to, tabs are going to glue to each other to make our box. But we're going to start with just this tab, maybe the A, and next to. So it's the front, when you're looking at it, it'll be the front right tab. Make sure we didn't have any adhesive runoff. It's kind of nice and flat. You can line them up if you have a gridded mat. That might help, I'm not sure. You might just want to line up your leading edge and your corners. But I also folded the back one because I was hoping we could just line it up overall. I actually always fold everything first, but I wanted to try it this way because I thought it might give me a better, more in-square final product. Now we'll go ahead and do our other folds. Completely in valley mode now. Now this will be your box when the card is deployed, standing up on the table. Set that aside. Grab your A and B sheet, the cauldron. The front, this is the back of the cats. Just fold this cauldron tab. Run your adhesive. It's kind of hard to do in film. I would mostly like to be more above it. Make sure the edge. So the adhesive is only on the face we want it on. And I like to bring the front of my card right here and inside here. And I like to just line the front edge of this up with the tab from the front. You also can use the marker lines to make sure, sanity check, tab A is lined up on the tab A line. So they're covered together. This was tried to design it so that the tab would cover the letter, more of the marker would be hidden in the final product. So you'll see the B and C right to this side of the line, like the A, C, E are all to the right of the line, B, D, F on the left of the line. Because then this will be folded back at its front fold. This face will be ready to meet this. Probably off camera. This face will be ready to meet the side when we get to that point, but we're only gluing the small tabs right now. So the B tab fold over and verify we've got B to B. Make sure everything's as flat as possible. Although we gotta put our glue on now, so we'll flatten everything out right after that. Make sure everything's flat and lined up, flat as you can get it, and fold the flap. Start at the middle, you can work your way up and down. Set it aside, grab the C and D card. I'm going to start with C, the witch.
Then just follow the same steps for the C, D, and E, F parts.
Now we are ready to put the circuit in. So put adhesive on the back page because it's hard to put adhesive over the battery. Go down this side, and do the edges. Kind of obvious. You have to stop where this guy. Get a little closer to it. And then I like to take one back this way, just to kind of keep everything taped down around. Keep everything pressed down for when the switch is thrown. It'll just hold things taut. So hopefully we don't get the flicker off. And then we could go down again here. That's fine. We do one in the middle. I don't usually, but can't hurt. All right. So here you feed the whole tab through. You know, stick it in here with whatever method works for you. How did we do? It's fine. It's not great, but if you want to trim this off, it's fine. Ugh. Sorry, it's stressful to film one of these and get it right every step of the way. So take the back and fold. Be careful of this tab so that you're all set up like this. And then we're going to put adhesive on this back tab and these double wide tabs, the spines of our little design. And then we are going to flip the card closed. Like that. This is another place where, you know, if you haven't used one of these that much, this is a great time to stick scrap paper in between here and mask off while you put adhesive. Alright, moment of truth. Well, I guess I probably said that during the circuit one. Knowing me. This whole process is made up of a bunch of small moments of truth, huh? Kind of push everything flat. I like to go from the front while also applying pressure back here. And then go up the sides. So we've got a little stick over here from that copy paper. I think that's fine. It depends how picky you are. You could trim the top off if that's going to bother you. But I think for the most part, people won't really key into that. They'll pull this out of an envelope. They'll hopefully figure out that you open it. So this is one thing. Coach it a little bit both ways. When you go this way, it's going to be a little wonky. But there you have it. Hopefully most of that was on screen. That's your finished card, and then it will stand up like this on a table. Roll some beautiful B-roll now.